Welcome back to another video, guys, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to make your first $1,000 with Instagram theme pages. If you're new here, my name is Justin, and over the past 4 to 5 years I've run multiple Instagram theme pages totaling almost 400,000 total followers. Over here you can see some examples. These are a few pages that I've run, um, just to give you an example, and these are some of the profits that I've got from my pages. Um, so yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. I don't want to bore you out too much with the intro, but if you're new here and you enjoyed the content, feel free to subscribe. Trying to hit 1.3K. But yeah, let's just get into it. Now, with making your first $100 or first $1,000 using theme pages, we have two main options, and we're just gonna go into them right now. All right. So the first one is repost pages, and the second one is clipping. Now, I know you're thinking, Justin, aren't they basically the same thing? Yes and no. Okay. Repost pages, they can be clipping pages. I'm not gonna act like they're not. They can't be clipping pages because you're reposting content to clip. But with repost pages, they have like a different purpose, as opposed to clipping pages, because there's different types of clipping, and repost pages, it's pretty much a broad genre. Clipping is kind of more narrowed down if you want to think about it like that. Okay. But if we're just trying to make, our first $1,000, this is the best way to do it. Okay. And I'm pretty much gonna give you the shortcut to making, your first $1,000. Um, so yeah, let's just get into it. So making your first $1,000. So these are some examples of actual repost pages and clipping pages. I actually owned both of these pages at one point before selling them. Um, so on the left we have Melanin Glow Up. This was a page based off beauty, makeup, etc. And pretty much all I did was repost pages, repost content about makeup pages. And I was able to get, what is this, 120 million views the last 30 days. That's completely crazy. That's like what, 4 million views per day? It's insane. Um, on the right here is Riz's Riz. So this was the page, about Riz. If you know what Riz is, pretty much just charisma. And I posted videos about this, and it was a repost page. I did a type of clipping where I didn't have to. Oh, I did creator clipping. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did creator clipping. And I also did another clipping called logo clipping, which we're gonna talk about a little later. But yeah, this was technically a repost page, but I monetized it using clipping. Which is an option sometimes if, an offer fits your niche. So I just want to make that completely clear that you can have a repost page that is a clipping page at the same time. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for right here. Um, and regarding clipping, I just want to say I actually had a member in my Discord server. We're gonna scroll down. He actually made 2 grand in nearly a month with clipping. So I want to just completely put it out here that it is possible and that you can actually make really good money from it, and that people are making money from it. I see a bunch of gurus online saying, hey, you can't really make money from it. It's not attainable. No, you can make money from it. and there are ways. So I just want to put this straight out here that people are seeing results with this. Okay, so these are the two examples. As we said, repost pages and then clipping pages. And we can just move on from here. Talk about the pros and the cons. Okay, we can go on the repost first. All right, pros. All right, first one, can easily repost content. This is a big one. I know a lot of you might not have, the most time in the world to actually, make original content with voiceover, scripting, custom thumbnails. I know everybody, including myself, because I'm a college student myself with a job, and I'm still doing this social media stuff, so I can understand how it can be a hassle. But the great thing about repost pages is that, number one, you can repost content, you don't have to create content. And number two, you can get good reach and it's less hands-on. Um, yeah, it's pretty much a cheat code right now, I'm not gonna lie. Reposting content is pretty much a cheat code. Now, I'm not saying just to choose a random piece of content and just upload it straight like that. There are ways that we're going to talk about in this video to actually be successful in reposting content that I've done and that I teach all my clients to do. So I'll just show you that a little bit later. But yeah, the great thing about repost pages is that I didn't put it here too, but you can easily post, easily repost content, easily find content, depending on what niche you're in. Easily repost it. It's less hands-on, and you can get really good reach, as you've seen right here, just from reposting content. You know, that's a big thing. You know, easily repost, less hands-on, and good reach. But the fourth thing that I forgot to include, fourth thing, is that you can actually automate this process. Um, and I'll briefly talk about that right now. So pretty much what I mean by automating the process is there is this tool called sludge.ai, and I've used it personally. I use it personally. And what it allows you to do, it allows you to actually plug in different creators or different pages you want to pull content from and that you're already going to pull content from, and it allows you to create an automation and it creates the content completely for you. Like, it's crazy. It actually just like generates the content for you in the actual app. But that's later on down the line. Like, if you're starting from scratch, you don't need to be worried about automations. You don't need to be worried about, setting up any type of that stuff. You just need to be worried about setting up your actual repost page. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. But anyways, let's talk about the clipping side of things before we move on. All right. So clipping, the pros of clipping. Number one, there are a lot of opportunities. Logo, creator, campaigns, music campaigns. I forgot to include music. But pretty much with clipping, there are so many people that are trying to grow a brand or an internet presence that you have a limited amount of opportunities. Um, One thing I forgot to include is that if you're doing creator clipping, that sometimes they have these requirements to, start a new page so that you can have a page specifically for them, but other ones really don't care. So that's all in the fun of the game of clipping, I guess. But yeah, with logo clipping, I know that there's a lot of opportunities as of right now. I recently just acquired a page today for a good price. It was like $75, and I plan on doing logo clipping with it. I think it's getting around 15 million views per month. So I think logo clipping could actually make me a few $100s, extra a month, from a page with 7,000 followers, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Um, but yeah, with creator clipping, you can also make money from day one. That's another thing that I wanted to mention, because with these creator campaigns, usually they'll pay out higher CPMs than any other type of clipping. Usually with the logo clippings, they're gambling companies that pay out a certain CPM payment. So what that means is they pay out per 1,000 views. So let's say, they have a 10-cent CPM and I get 10,000 views, then I make $1. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much just how it works for that side. As for creator clipping, they usually pay out anywhere from, $1.5 every 1,000 views to around maybe like $3 to $4. It really just depends on the creator and, the requirements. So you can go on and I'll show you, the platform that I use for my clipping. And you can really just go on there, create an account for the person you're wanting to clip for, or for the actual, campaign you want to do. And you can seriously make money from day one. Like, it's completely crazy. And the greatest thing about WAP, and that's the app I use. I guess I was supposed to expose it too early, but I don't really care. But the greatest thing about WAP clipping is that they pay you per hour. Okay? So pretty much how it works on WAP is once you have to submit the video, you have to post the video first. My correction. You have to post the video first, get your clip, post the video. Once you post the video, you get the link of the video, and then you go back to WAP and you actually submit the link to WAP. Just so they can, see it and they can approve it and start tracking the videos and etc. So pretty much after you post every video that you're doing for clipping, you want to go get a link and you want to submit it to the actual WAP campaign that you're doing. So yeah. All right. Anyways, pages can be monetized and sold quickly. This is a big one. Okay, this is a really big one. I actually had a follower of mine come to me with a meme page with about what 80 to 90, he had like 80,000 followers in the meme page, and he was getting like, it was a random meme page. Like he would seriously, like, you know how I told you it's not the best to no, upload a reel or upload a video just straight to the internet, just download, upload. He would do exactly that with the meme page, and he had success with it. Because he just reposted random funny memes, and he blew it up to 80,000 followers. Anyways, the audience was top USA, and he was getting like what 100 million views a month. So he decided to do, what is it, logo clipping, where he just put a logo on a video, and he got paid per every 1,000 views. And when he was getting those type of views and he was putting a logo on it, bro, he was making at least 4 figures a month just doing logo clipping on an 80K meme page. So guys, I just want to say that it can be done. It definitely can be done. I know he has a bigger page, but even with the creator campaigns, you can still make that same amount of money with less views than he got. So I just want to put that completely out there. But yeah, pages can be monetized and sold quickly. Another example of this is my Riz page right here. I know it says only 4.1. That's because I got kind of lazy in posting. But pretty much, I grew this page. I bought this page when it had like 10K followers. And I grew it another, what, 17, 18,000 followers. I made around, I think, $400 from the page. And I sold it within like a few months. Like, it was not that long. And it was crazy. The turnaround for these pages can be insane, especially the logo clipping ones, because once somebody finds out you can profit from a page, you can profit, you can make, money from these pages, they're willing to actually invest money, and they're willing to spend money. So that's why it's the best to have, repost pages or pages you can just repost content on that get a lot of views, because somebody might want to either acquire it, or you can just make money for yourself. So it's either or, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Then that's why we're gonna talk about the cons next. Okay, the cons. All right, let's go on the repost pages first. What are the cons, Justin? What are the cons? Well, I will tell you. So let's get into it. All right. First thing, repost pages takes time to grow. Takes time to grow. And I cannot stress this enough. Guys, I don't know how many people I've had reach out to me and saying, hey, why isn't my page doing well? Why isn't my page growing? When they've posted like 15 videos. Guys, I will be completely honest. Especially as a newcomer, Instagram will take a little time to grow. Like, it will take a while. I'm gonna show you like my growth metric, what I consider beginning phase, intermediate phase, advanced phase as for posting. But it truly does take time. And the amount of time I can see it taking somebody, especially new, is anywhere to, I don't know, I don't even want to say 30 days. I say the first 90 days. Like 90 days, 90 to at least 120 days. If you're consistent, then you'll grow and monetize. Yeah. If you're very, very fortunate, then you can monetize within 90 days, which is like 3 months. Um, but you shouldn't outright be expecting to, monetize with repost pages. Um, this is more a long-term play, I'm not gonna lie. Repost pages, they can set you up for, bigger and, higher payouts down the line compared to creator clipping, but in return, they take more time to grow and monetize. So that's just the name of the game there. Am I saying that you cannot monetize from day one starting a repost page? No, it is perfectly possible to monetize. But a lot of the time with these repost pages, people, either, grow and monetize by riding trends, which dies out, which is not what we're trying to do here, okay? So, yeah, that's one thing to be aware of, that it does take time to grow and monetize. Just want to be completely transparent, okay? Next thing, potential copyright issues. Potential copyright. Nobody likes copyright. I know on YouTube I have a few people who I know run short channels, and they get hit with copyright. Sometimes using music videos. And recently Instagram has kind of been cracking down on this. Especially if you're just uploading somebody else's content straight to the app, that is a no-go. I do not recommend you do that. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things that, we should do later in this video to help you avoid these. Because I don't believe I've had any copyright issues when, I've actually done what I'm going to say later in the video. But anyways, let's go over to the cons of creator clipping. Alright. Number one, creator clipping requires frequent posting. Okay? This video is if you want to make your first $1,000 with Instagram. I'm not saying, if you want to, I don't know, build a long-term sustainable brand, if you want to, build a mega, Instagram billion empire. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you want to make your first 1,000, and if you want to make your first $1,000 with Instagram, for creator clipping, it requires frequent posting. I know a lot of people say this in the social media space, but truly every post that you do is like a lottery ticket. And if you're not posting as much as you can, other people will beat you and they'll get the money that you think you deserve. So that's how it is, and it's like that in the world too. So I just don't want you to be like, oh, I can go about, posting once a day, maybe twice a day. It's like, no, if you're doing clipping, you need to at least be posting probably 5, 6, 7 times a day. But if you can't, that's completely okay, and I understand. Because even when I did my logo clipping for Riz is Riz, I probably posted like 4 or 5 times a day. And posting doesn't take long, especially, when you're just reposting content and then, changing the caption and then just submitting the video. Like that entire process probably takes like 3 minutes in total. So you do that, find the video, upload the video, or change it in CapCut, whatever. And then you post it and then you submit it. That probably takes 3 to 4 minutes. And I do that, like 4 or 5 times a day. So that's like 25, 30 minutes max. Okay. So it requires frequent posting, but the posting doesn't have to be, for like forever. It is completely possible to run one of these, clipping logo pages or even a creator page. I know creator pages require actual editing, but it's possible to do it within under an hour. But I know people work slower and some people work slower, some people work faster. So it really depends on how efficient you want to be. Just gonna be straight up honest. So it's pretty much all that is for here. What is it? Another thing is dependent on campaigns. All right. What does being dependent on campaigns mean? All right. So I'll just say this. Pretty much for creator clipping and other types of clipping, you are depending on, the owner of these campaigns to provide you a budget. You're basically kind of waiting on them. You're like the baby bird and they're like the mama bird. They're kind of like feeding you these opportunities. That's how I like to look at it. They're like feeding you these opportunities. That doesn't feel good sometimes. It's gonna be straight up honest, because it's like, dang, it's like, when are we gonna get the next campaign or when something's gonna happen. Um, and that happens sometimes. Usually more with the logo clipping than the creator clipping because I know there's so many different creators. As well as music clipping. I didn't add that one, but music clipping is basically where you get paid a CPM, per 1,000 views for a music song or like a song to play in your video. Sometimes they have different rules for the campaigns. Sometimes it's like, oh, this song must be related to X, Y, and Z. Like you must have related to something happy. The video must relate to something happy, not like anything weird or anything, just out of the norm, out of the aesthetic of the video. But that's besides the point. Um, a lot of times with logo campaigns, you're dependent on the actual campaign owner. Just to be straight up honest. With creator clipping, not as much. But yeah. Alright. And the last thing is that budgets run out fast. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I only have about 1,200 subscribers on YouTube and about 400 on Instagram and TikTok separately. But I have a lot of people contacting me about logo clipping just because I posted about it a few times. And with more people joining bigger pages, they begin to suck away that budget. So as for example, there might be a campaign with like 10k budget, and there might be probably like 50 to 70 people collectively trying to get that 10k budget. And within a week that budget will be out. 10k dollars just from these pages that are getting crazy views. And that's just how it goes. Now there are caps on how much money you can actually make per video. I think it's like $250 for logo clipping. So that's like with a 10-cent CPM, that's like 2.5 million views. So if you get 2.5 million views, you cap out at what? You cap out at $250. My bad, I blinked. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the actual logo clipping or the clipping in general. Just got to keep in mind that budgets do run out fast. So that's why I said that you want to post, especially, and I'll give you a tip right quick, especially in the first, like if you can be one of the first ones on a campaign, like if they initially release the campaign, what you want to do for logo clipping, what you want to do, and this is a tip that I learned, is you want to post as many times, like probably like 10 times in the first day, all the videos. All right. What's going to happen is that, it's a lottery ticket. If your page is already getting consistent views and you post, 10 times a day, then what do you think is going to happen? One of those posts are probably going to pop off. And you got to consider that over the next coming days, while you post and post and post and post, that the original 10 videos will get a crazy amount of views along with the videos that you're posting. And that's why I say post at the beginning, because you're gonna get the most money rather than if you're like posting near the end, and then once the budget runs out, your views aren't counting for money anymore. So that's just one thing to think about. Just a side tip. I know I got off tracked or sidetracked, but yeah, that's just a little tip that I want to take the time to talk to you about. Anyways, going back to the cons of repost pages. All right. So how do we actually fix these cons? It takes time to grow, monetize, and potential copyright. I'm going to tell you about that. All right, so let's fix the copyright issue first. All right. What we want to do is have a template or a format that we're going to post these videos in. Okay? Template or a format. Let me see if I can pull up Canva right quick. And show you template / format. IG templates. All right, I'll pull these up, and then I'll pull these up as well. All right, template / format. All right, right here. This is my template pack right here, but this is pretty much an example of a template. This is more for carousels, so we're not going to talk about that too much. But for example, this This is an example of a template. Um, this is an example of a template. You know, if we just went and we posted all this stuff, with the video, then we're more likely to get, copyrighted because we're just repost the content. Now, if we go make changes, if we go and actually, add our own little logo on branding to it, then we have a better chance of not getting copyright striked or copyright and taken down, or our page being restricted and not being able to be shown to non-followers. So this is a method that I use to, and I've created a bunch of these too. Um, but that's a method that I use to actually, um, bypass the copyright issue. Now, if you don't want to, if you're too lazy to create templates, whatnot, I understand. I actually have my creator template that I just released for my digital product. It has 15 plus Canva templates, and you not only do you get, these, and there's some more over here as well. Yeah, there's way more over here as well. You also get your own templates that you could customize later down the line. These are some examples of templates that you get right here. And I think as of right now, it is $9.99. So I have it 50% marked off for my Bio Creator template. But that's besides the point. That's only if you don't want to, create it in Canva yourself. If you just want to have mine that I use specifically along with some other kind of creative ones, you can check that out if you want. But that's not the point. The point is you got to be using a template or a format, no matter if you use mine or if you just create your own. You have to be using something, or else you're going to get copyright striked while posting. And number two, you want to have your page looking nice. You just don't want to be throwing stuff on your page, like, unless you're doing a meme page. I mean, you could do that, I guess. But you want to have some sort of brand presence amongst your page. You just don't want it to be sloppy. And that's the one thing I try to do, especially when I buy new pages. I try to actually, take the time out to make it look like something special. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want my page to be looking trash. Like, no, I don't do that. But yeah, let's get into, excuse me, the other side over here. All right. So as I was saying before, what we want to do to bypass, or I guess, excuse me, what we want to do on the clipping side is use WAP clipping. That's what I've used, and that's what one of my clients or one of my members in my Discord, that's what he uses for his clipping. He uses WAP clipping, okay? And this is honestly the format which you want to start doing. And this is the way you're going to be successful using clipping. Whether it's with WAP, whether it was with, other, clipping websites, this is the format you want to use. Okay? First, you want to find an offer that you want to start doing. Once you choose an offer, make sure it has a good remaining budget and a good amount of time also. All right. So I put this in here, right here, just to show you an example of some clipping. And as you can see right here, this one has a $10,000 budget, okay? It has a $2 CPM, which is pretty good, and a minimum payout of $5. Okay? So pretty much what you have to do to get $5 is you have to get like what? That's like 5,000. That's not even 5,000. That's like 3,000 views. You have to get 3,000 views to hit that 5,000 minimum payout. And then the maximum payout is $300, which is easy to reach. And then personal brands, and you see this just started. Only $36 out of 10K has been paid out. So this would be a pristine opportunity to hop on. Yeah, if it's under like 10%, that is a great opportunity to hop on. Now, if you see one that's like 70, 80%, then it's like, I don't think it's worth it at that point. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think 60, 70, 80% is worth it at that point. But if you see one definitely under 30%, that is a good one to hop on, as well as a CPM. And you got to look at the requirements as well. Yeah. So now, as I mentioned earlier, if you already have a top USA existing account with high engagement, I would 100% recommend logo clipping. 100% just recommend it. Because if you're looking to make your first $1,000 from Instagram, honestly, just slapping a logo on videos that you already repost will make you money. You might make $100 in the first I don't know, first month or something. You might make $500,000, but you're making more money, reposting with the logo than you would have not. You know what I'm saying? So it just helps that you have it along with, any other income sources that you have, any other income that you have. Um, but yeah, that's why I think the logo clipping is the best way to go if you already have high engagement. All right. But if you don't have any experience running accounts, I recommend to start creator clipping. Just because you can start with from day one with 0 followers, you don't need high engagement, all these followers to do creator clipping. Most times they want you to start from zero, with a new account that is just dedicated to the person. I'm not gonna lie. So I would 100% recommend that. Okay. And then right here we have actual a membership group that I'm in right now. This is the main one for logo clipping. Like elite clipping deals. Yeah. So pretty much I have this one in my Discord server, and I will leave my Discord server, theme page HQ. I'll leave that down in the description along with anything else I plug in this video, okay? So you'll be able to join it. I know there's a premium version. I know there's a free one. You can join whichever one you want. I think the premium one has more opportunities, but it's really up to you, okay? But yeah, if you don't have any experience running accounts, I 100% recommend to start creator clipping. It'll be the best thing for you. I'm not gonna lie, if you're trying to make that first $1,000. But you got to remember, even in making, this first $1,000, it will be pretty hard if you're a beginner and you have no clue what you're doing. And now, if you have some background with social media, running accounts, knowing how things work, it might be easier for you. But I would at least give it, 90 days. Creator clipping, logo clipping, just seeing how it goes. Okay. So yeah. So we gotta go. Let's go back over here. I've got a little sidetracked, but let's go. All right. So this is pretty much about the posting phases that I was talking about earlier with reposting pages. All right. Once we find our niche that we want to get, once we have everything that we want to do, this is pretty much the framework that we're going to use. Okay. So whatever I tell my clients, whatever clients that I'm coaching, this is what I tell them always. From 0 to 150 posts, this is the beginner phase, and you could come to me, we can book a call, you can ask me whatever you want. You can be like, Justin, hey, does my page look good? I'll give you a quick audit of your page. I'll be like, yeah, your page looks good. You need to prove X, Y, and Z. But yeah, if you're doing anything you need to do with your templates and whatnot, if you're, you have good content, your page looks professional, and you're still not getting traction after the first 150 posts, just know you're still in the beginner phase, no worries. I've seen accounts that are at 300,000 followers now, and back when they had like 200, 300 posts, they only had 500 followers. So it was about a what, 1.3 ratio? Yeah, that was pretty bad. But you gotta realize that the pages that win and the pages that don't are really the pages that keep posting and actually improvise and improve, how their content looks. And the ones that don't win, they don't improve, They either keep posting the same garbage that they're posting, and they don't get better. And that's That's reality. That's within life as well. You really have to adapt and get better in whatever you do. But anyways, that's the beginner phase. 150 posts. If you're still not getting traction, you're still in the beginner phase. There's no need to worry. If you're posting 3 times a day for a month, 3 times 30, what is that? That's like 90 posts. So 150 would be like a month in like 3 weeks probably. Yeah, probably like a month and 3 weeks. It's almost 2 months. So that's still considered the beginner phase, okay? But I'm not gonna lie, after probably the first 150 posts, you should start seeing some traction if you're doing something right. Um, just a little bit, you know. Even if you have, 100 followers, 200 followers, that's something. That's something. You shouldn't still be like 1 follower, to be honest. Okay. Anyways, the second phase is the intermediate phase, and this is between 150 posts to 450. And this is probably like that in between area to where, 150, you're not growing that much. And then 450, you should see some significant growth compared to that 150. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what I call the intermediate phase. It's when, you're between that advanced phase, which is, 500 plus posts, where you're being consistent and where you're actually, deep into it. The 100 between 450 is usually the range that most people hit 10K followers. Some of them hit it, earlier than 150. Some of them hit it later, but between this area is when generally you hit that 10K, 20, maybe 30, maybe even higher than this, depending on your niche. But yeah, this is truly the growth period, the intermediate phase. Once you get past this beginner phase, you can start to see the end of the rainbow because you're getting towards it. Intermediate phase, you're in gear, and at this phase too, you can start to monetize your account. Once it's growing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and the advanced phase is pretty much the pro phase where you're consistent. You've been posting for a while. You have an audience. You have metrics. You know what time your audience posts. And yeah, that's pretty much the advanced phase where you're actually building something sustainable. Um, Now this can be earlier or later, but it tends to be on the later side of things just because of how long it actually takes to build something sustainable. But yeah, let me go into how we actually monetize these pages, repost pages. All right, all right. After you reach 5 to 10K followers, you want to launch a newsletter. Justin, why do I want to launch a newsletter? Great question. The reason you want to launch a newsletter is because what? Instagram is not sustainable. Instagram is sustainable, but your account isn't. Okay? Instagram is sustainable. Want to clarify that. Your account isn't. And I can say this because I've had accounts that have gotten banned, and I have had clients that have had accounts that have gotten banned as well. So I can speak when I say, it sucks having a page that you put all this effort into and it just gets banned. Like that doesn't feel too good. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to launch a newsletter. Put this little beehive logo right here. And pretty much what a newsletter will do is, you get your, top of funnel audience, the audience that cares about, your content the most, and you start gathering them in a place where, you can keep them and hold them to your heart and, start growing that list, right? That's what you want to start doing, to be honest. And not only, does a newsletter provide you additional security, it gives you a platform to sell your audience. You know what I'm saying? So going back over here, let's say I start a page in the finance niche. I'm reposting finance content. I got my templates over here. I'm looking like the big pages. I post about 250 times. I get 10K followers. All right. What I want to do is I want to launch a newsletter. I want to be like, hey, I want to provide value to my audience. That's one thing, I want to include. If you have a meme page, if you have any type of repost page, if you have a page that you're reposting the same video daily, don't do this. It will not work. It will not convert. Want to be completely honest, it will not work. It will not convert. Okay. But for your newsletter, you want to make sure you're providing value. Okay. Think about some pages that you follow personally on Instagram that are, theme pages about anything, dogs, cat. It could be random pages. It could be like pages like rap, puberty, any of these top pages. You want to make sure that you are providing value. Okay, because there's a reason you tune in these pages. And for the newsletter, we want to make sure that our followers are coming for something, either a deeper dive in something or to make sure they're receiving something. You want to provide sort of something for them to get, okay? And that's kind of what I'm doing with my newsletter right now. I know I'm not doing it fully faceless because this is my personal brand. However, I'm doing it in a way that I'm providing additional value, such as freebies and discounts to digital products and etc. in my newsletter. So I kind of incentivize my audience to join my newsletter that way. And I'm talking later videos about how to actually set up, automate your newsletter, some things that you can do. But yeah, for your newsletter, you want to make sure you're just providing value. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to look at the type of content that you post. You want to think about how you can provide more value to your audience. How can I be more valuable to my finance audience? How can I be more valuable for the Justin Turvey brand? And how can I help more people make money online? What can I do? What type of insights can I provide in this newsletter that aren't seen in my content or anywhere else? You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what you want to look at. You want to look at, hey, what's something that I can provide outside of content that my followers also like? You know what I'm saying? And one thing you can do to actually figure out what your followers like if you're getting to this point is you can ask questions on your story. You can engage on your story. Not only does that boost engagement, but you can start to learn about your followers even more and what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? And they'll actually tell you, even if it's faceless, they'll tell you like, oh, I like this, I want to see this, I want to see this. And yeah, a lot of the times you will be able to tell once you get to that, 5-10K audience, what they actually like and how you can help them. Okay. So you want to look at what type of content you post and think about how you can provide more value to your audience. I know this is a while. I know this is going to take a while. But this one is, this is a way you make your first $1,000 on Instagram. I'm not going to lie. Now, I will be straight up honest. It will take longer than the clipping. We go back to the clipping, especially like logo, creator clipping. That is probably the easiest way to make your first $1,000. But let's build something that can actually make you $1,000, and that is, kind of more long term. It is more long term. I don't know why I said kinda. It is more long term. Okay. All right. So ways to actually monetize. Finally get into monetization. Woo! All right. So ways to monetize. Number one, digital products. Digital products. Okay. I've had clients come to me before and be like, hey, my digital product's not working. I'm trying to sell this, and I look at it and I'm like, you're not really trying to sell it the right way. Okay. The reason we get the newsletter first is because we get people that actually might want to purchase something from us, even though we're a faceless brand, and we get people that want to potentially purchase from us, and we get them all in one place, right? We get them all in one newsletter, and we build that newsletter up. We build it. And we engage, provide value. And then, eventually we can sell a digital product. But with selling a digital product, you have to make sure, it can help your audience in some way, and it just can't be something unrelated to your niche, or it's not gonna work. It has to be something that you want to make it where it's like a tool that you use personally. Um, for example, my digital product right here that I just created, viral page templates, is something that I use personally, and I'm selling that, um, based off something that I use personally, and hopefully it doesn't come off as too much of an ad because I use it myself, right? So we want to have something that we actually use personally, and we don't want to make it seem like, oh, this video was sponsored, and we want it to be natural. That's what we want to make it do. Okay, we want to make it kind of like gel with the overall theme of your newsletter. Okay. All right. Number 2, Beehive boosts. All right. What are Beehive boosts? Okay. Beehive boosts. Let's see if I can go to my newsletter. Let's pull it up. 20 subscribers. I don't push out my newsletter that much. Go subscribe to it, please. All right. Beehive boost. Pretty much what Beehive boost is you can get money. You can apply to a boost, all right, for your newsletter. And let's say somebody subscribes to my newsletter right here, Theme Page HQ. If I get accepted to this boost, when they subscribe to my newsletter, they'll have the option to subscribe to this one too, right? And let's say they decide to subscribe to this one. Then I get $2.40 per subscriber. So I'll make money, I'll make money for them to subscribing to this newsletter, which is crazy. And I'm not saying you should use this as your main way of making money, but it can be something that once you're growing your newsletter, you have, 100 subscribers, you can apply to some boosts. I'm not sure if I'm going to apply to some boosts myself just because I'm trying to grow this brand right now, but you can do it, It's something to look into. You can get $4 per subscriber, $1.60, $2.40. Some of these have actual, USA requirements and like different country requirements. But you can turn those off. You can filter those. Yeah, you can filter them off. But yeah, once you're growing, you can apply like once you have about 10 to 15 posts up, like actual posts for your page, and about like 175 to 100 subscribers, you can apply to boost and you're going to get accepted pretty much. Okay. So that's a pretty good way to make money too. And the third way is sponsorships. All right. Once you're growing your newsletter from your repost page, you will get reached out to sponsors, depending on your niche. Okay. But the great thing about newsletter sponsors is that they are so much more than Instagram sponsors, just because the newsletter is so much more valuable, because of the people that are in it, right? Compare an Instagram audience to, a newsletter audience. Newsletter audience are probably older people that, engage, and they're more willing to buy things. So sponsors are more willing to pay money for something, or for that audience. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the sponsors. And then number 4, we have affiliate programs. So affiliate programs, if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much when you're promoting somebody else's software product and you get an affiliate percentage of that. Me personally, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I have a few affiliate programs, and I'll leave them sometimes in my Discord or in bio of my YouTube videos sometimes, and people can go check them out. And I'm being straight up honest with you because I'm a creator too. I make money off of these. If somebody purchases something, like somebody uses an AI tool like Sludge AI, I'm an affiliate for. They use my link, I get like a percentage of that. If they purchase something. So this can be something good, especially going back to the digital products. If your offer actually correlates with something, or if you use your offer that you're promoting. Okay, if you use the software, if you use anything that you're promoting, and you can kind of put it in there as something that you use rather than an actual sponsorship, then this can work really well. Okay, but yeah, I don't want to hold y'all for too long. But thank you for watching this video. If you have any other questions, um, either reach out on Discord, join ThemePage HQ. It'll probably be the first link. Um, and if you want to get these templates, these viral templates, while they're still for sale for like, at the time it's gonna be released, it's gonna be released like Thursday. So they will be $9.99 until Saturday or Sunday. So if you ever want to check these out, $9.99 until Sunday, then prices go back to full. Okay. Any questions? Reach out on Discord, reach out on Instagram. Happy to answer. Yeah, but y'all stay blessed and have a good day though.